Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy, or we show you how to navigate space. We are here every Friday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 3 p.m. Saturday in Queensland, Australia. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California, in the United States. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight, we are going to talk about citizen science, and we have some information about the early skies in 2021. If you want to give us a call, we're at 805-590-6356. That's 805-590-6356. Hi, Christina. Thanks so much for joining us. Christina is in Riverside, California. Love having you here, and love having your questions, too. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, tonight we're talking about citizen science, and that's basically what you can do to contribute to science. In fact, there's a definition of citizen science in the comments here. Can they see them?
Yeah, I just posted this, and it should go out to all the places that it's broadcasting to.
Yeah. Why don't you pop it up on the screen too? Just
yeah.
Show.
Sure.
There you go.
So, citizen science. You want to read it?
I can't read that small. Lordy. Go ahead.
Well, okay. Citizen science is the voluntary involvement of the public in scientific research. Citizen scientists can help design experiments, collect data, analyze results, and solve problems. Their work helps professional scientists and resource managers understand parks. Their data helps solve real problems and answer real questions. In a nutshell, citizen science is science. Anyone can be a citizen science regardless of where they're from. It doesn't matter how old you are or what your background is. And I pulled this up from the National Parks website. We have a comment. Let me take a look at that real quick. Hi, Michael. Thanks so much from very chilly Hong Kong.
And just so you guys know, I don't need glasses. Things just need to be bigger.
Take it away.
Okay. There's a lot of different types of things that you can do for citizen science. I kind of, in my own mind, categorize them into two main groups: independent projects and that you do yourself, and joining other people's projects. Independent projects are like a couple of things that Heather talked about last week. Her Apollo trees, which, if you don't know what that means,
Apollo moon trees.
Apollo moon trees, yeah. If you don't know what that means, take a look at last week's. That's pretty neat.
That was a great show.
Yeah, and yeah, she mapped out their locations. She also created a map for the locations of solar observatories. Not observatories, but scale models of the solar system.
Right. There's a term for that. You know what that is?
Orrery.
Orrery.
Yeah.
What a cool word, huh?
Yeah. So
yeah, that was last week, the 1st of January. That's what that means.
And I created not anything nearly as sophisticated as that, but it came from one of your favorite sayings about when someone gives their age. If only on Earth. If you were someplace else, it'd be different. So created a quickie little Java program on one of our websites that you put in a birthday, and it tells you how old you are on any given planet in local years for that planet.
I'll go find it.
Yeah. So we'll have a link for that. Like I said, nothing really fancy. Just you put in a birthday and it does a table lookup for you.
I didn't realize that was Java. Very cool.
Yeah. But so those are independent projects, and basically they come about because you want to know something and you can't find it, so you make it yourself. Or you just have an idea, you can't find it, you make it yourself. And really hard give examples of that, except for what other people have done rather than what you can do, because if I have an idea, I'll probably make it myself, but but just in anything, if you want to know something and you can't find it, figure it out, put it up on the web for everyone else. The next one is joining projects. And she talked about that also. The third thing that she did, and the one that we talked about the most, was the pillow knot thing.
That's Heather last week.
Heather, yeah.
On the 1st of January. She was our guest, and she did a brilliant job of describing what she did. Yeah.
And she was a test guinea pig, yes. I will say that. And she can contend with that, or, she can complain or not.
Yeah, they say astronaut analog. That's the term that they were using before she created pillow knot. Yeah. And now they're using pillow knot.
That's just because they don't squeak enough. But so, and that sort of thing, there are easy ways and hard ways of joining projects. The hard way is you find something like that. And the hard part is actually finding them. And if you want to be involved in projects like that, I would recommend making friends with people in NASA, JPL, and astronomy, space science professors in your local colleges.
Or us.
Or us, yeah. We might be able to hook you up with someone too. But, and, you can get involved in a project there. A lot easier, and they've started popping up a while ago, and there's more and more stuff popping up now. Some of it's going away, but some of it's popping up. Where web-based stuff, where you find stuff on the web and you can participate and actually help with the science. And so those are the things that we're going to be generally talking about over the next few weeks. And some examples are using remote telescope photos, working with the images, and sending the results back. SOHO has a Find a Comet, because they've got all of these images around the sun. If you see a blip flipping around near the sun, hey, you might have found a comet.
And they said, that we were looking before, they said half of all comets have been found with this. I think it's an observatory in orbit kind of thing. Right. SOHO, SOHO.
Yeah,
I'll type it in.
It is solar observatory, and
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. The other two letters I don't know off the top of my head, and I did know them. But
hi, Larissa.
Hi, Larissa. Wow. Yeah, it's late there. There's crater searches. Currently, I only know of one that's looking for craters on the Earth. I used to do one that looked for craters on Mars. That's gone now. They must have gotten what they needed.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah. Then there's Galaxy Zoo, which is the shapes of galaxies. And I'll talk a little bit more about that because that's something that I was involved in too for a while. And and those are all things where you do the work yourself. There were some like SETI at Home where you download packets and your computer chugs away at them.
Right. It was a way to crowdsource computer power.
Right.
When they didn't have computer power like we do now. Right.
Yeah. And now computers are much, much stronger. I mean, back then that was a Windows XP machine, with a Pentium processor, and yay.
But they retired SETI at Home recently. Right. I think it was. Wasn't it like last year or the year before or something?
And I think it was combination. And there were some other projects like that too. But I think they went away because of a combination of computers are stronger and they can do it themselves, and Bitcoin and their things. I think people figured if they're going to burn that much electricity, they might as well make money at it.
Got it. But interesting. Hadn't thought of that.
The same rigs that are good for mining Bitcoins are also good for processing this stuff.
Oh.
So for like a few grand, they probably build themselves a rig and do it themselves.
Oh. Very cool.
That's just a guess. I don't have any knowledge of that, but
Mm-hmm.
as an IT guy, I could see that as a really simple solution.
Ah, very
because
cool.
once you've got the rig, then it's available for any other projects that you get.
Makes sense. Okay.
And there are others out there. We just found a few that just tonight, right as we were prepping for the show, that we'll talk about later too. And we'll talk about, yes, that's her thing. I like to play. And so I played with Galaxy Zoo, which led to Zooniverse. And I used to know, but somehow Zooniverse acquired Galaxy Zoo, but Zooniverse got its name from Galaxy Zoo.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I never played with it. But you
Yeah.
actually played with it, right?
Yeah, back when it was just Galaxy Zoo. And what it is, they have a bunch of Hubble and other observatory images of galaxies, probably some of them from the deep field views, but others just any other any shots that Hubble took that had galaxies in them that weren't totally washed out by something nearby. They just cut out the blobs, and you basically look at it and decide which type of galaxy it is. And they give like 3 or 4 general shapes, and then you choose whether, like a spiral, is it a barred spiral or not a barred spiral?
Right, yeah.
That sort of thing. And as I was playing with it, they got harder and harder to do because they ended up getting fuzzier and fuzzier objects. And some of them you can say, you don't think it's a galaxy, or you can't tell.
Oh, interesting.
So, and that's still going. You can look at Zooniverse and
they keep finding galaxies.
Yeah,
I'm
look
sure.
for Galaxy Zoo. They actually have a version of Galaxy Zoo for mobile. It's essentially shaped for working on your phone.
Huh.
So.
Yeah, and I think there were some images had some 15 people minimum that would, try to identify them. And this isn't something that's very easy for, say, a computer to do, but it's easier for people to do. And if you get enough different people, it does sound pretty cool, Larissa. Thank you for that. If you get enough people that weigh in on, any particular image, and this is what I knew about it, what I heard about it, then you have sort of consensus of what that spiral, what that galaxy is.
Right. Yeah. So at least 15 people would look at the image, and let's say 11 of them thought it was a barred spiral. Okay, then that's what they mark it as, and someone thought it was, Mickey Mouse. Okay, you let that guy be by himself. But by essentially democratizing it like that, they get some really good data, and that's what I did with the crater counts on Mars too. It's just simply counting the number of craters on Mars, in a photo.
So do they give you like some kind of instruction, or is there a video? Here's how you do this, and they explain to you what they want from each image, or do they have expectations that you do at least one a day, or anything like that? Or
well, there are no expectations for how many you do.
Oh, okay.
There are expectations for quality.
Okay.
I think that you get I don't think they stop you from looking at them, but I think they ignore you if too many of yours aren't among the majority of stuff. But one of the things that they do to help you is when you first go in, there's a tutorial.
Okay.
Where, here's a galaxy, pick what type it is, and they'll actually tell you whether you were right or wrong.
Oh, so it sort of trains you
right
at looking at them while you're looking at them, and then you go out to the live ones that they don't know yet, and you kind of have an idea. So that's how they it's a term. That's how they sex chickens. They don't actually have the organs like other animals do. They just look at them, and after a while, the master will say, "Yes, you know which ones are which." Isn't that weird?
Well, They have the organs, they're just not external.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
But
they just figure it out by looking, and there's
Mhm.
no real difference, but they can tell eventually. It's a trained thing.
And I think I heard, I don't know for sure, but I think after the training, the first few that you do are ones that have already been had a majority vote from other people, just making sure that that you're tracking with everything.
Well, that makes sense, and that's really smart too.
Mhm.
That sounds terrific.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any questions out there, people? And if you have anything else to say about that right now, and we're gonna delve into these. I think on Zooniverse there are quite a few different.
Well, yeah, Zooniverse has a lot of different projects like that. There are 21 space-based ones.
Okay.
I counted. Yay, college math! I can count to 21. 4 times 5 plus 1 on a separate page. Yay! But there are also other types of things that you could do there if you want to do other kinds of stuff. And we found other citizen science pages too, and those are for other weeks.
Yeah, it was interesting because there was quite a bit of overlap. I mean, the stuff that was on Zooniverse, we were scrolling through, and you were like, "Oh, that's on Zooniverse too." We're at the NASA.
The NASA page.
The NASA page. They had a whole bunch of them, and they actually have them so you can pick categories if you want to study the sun, or if you want to study the Earth. There's some different choices there, or you can just look at all of them. That kind of thing. Yeah, any other questions, people? And do you have anything else for us in that particular?
No, we'll be posting links to stuff. And just if you go to Zooniverse, just go to projects.
I'll spell that.
And then you have to scroll a bit, get to space, and
that's it,
right? There they are. Yeah.
Okay.
And not Project Universe. That was a show that I used to watch when I was a kid. No, but Galaxy Zoo. Galaxy Zoo.
Okay, well, that's Zooniverse. You want Galaxy Zoo up too?
You'll see it. You don't have to.
It's on there. Okay.
You don't have
to. It's in the Zooniverse. Sorry, Zooniverse. This one, Zooniverse.
.com.
Okay, .com. So that's Zooniverse.com.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much, Jeff. I really, really appreciate that. You did digging, and you had some experience. I really appreciate that too. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you want to phone us up, we'll put you on the air. It's 1-805-590-6356. That's 1-805-590-6356. If you are not content with the chat, or it's not working for you somehow, give us a call and we'll talk to you. All right. So at this point in our general show, we are going to cover some things you can see in the night sky. And this is going to be January 8th through January 15th. And we talk about the moon a lot. The moon is 25 days old. And the new moon is going to be Wednesday, January the 13th. Now, the reason we mention this is because it's much easier to see things on the new moon, like the faint fuzzies, than it is, say, when it's a full moon. The full moon is very bright, washes out a lot of stuff. And thanks, Michael, for that. Appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to be Wednesday, January the 13th. A couple other things happen that day too, but I'll get to that in a second. You can still see in the sky Mars and Jupiter and Saturn dimly. Mercury is going to join the party too, but you got to go out early, like right as the sun is setting. And for us, it's like 5 o'clock here, 5:30, right in that time frame. You want to go out and look west. Mars will be high in the sky and like basically kind of southish. Then you're going to see Jupiter and Saturn to the west, and they set very quickly. So you definitely want to go out early and check for them before they're gone. Mercury is going to be very low in the west. It never gets very high because it's between the Earth and the sun. It's always kind of hanging around the sun, either in the morning or in the evening. Right now it's in the evening in the west, and it's gone very fast. All right, so January the 9th, that is tomorrow, Mercury and Saturn are in conjunction. In conjunction means they're fairly close together. In fact, we had a great conjunction last month. You may recall, December the 21st, Jupiter and Saturn were very, very close. It was a big deal, and I got tons and tons of pictures. I went out trying to get more pictures tonight with Mercury too, but I was in the wrong place. It's been a while, and I didn't actually, see where they were located. Mercury and Saturn are in conjunction tomorrow, and that's going to be, like we said, very low in the west, right as the sun is setting. January 10th, Mercury joins Jupiter and Saturn, also low and in the west at sunset. Yeah, they got, I don't know, they had it in the Farmer's Almanac that way, so I'm just sharing what I learned. January 11th, Venus and the moon is in conjunction. Now, this is going to be early in the morning before the sun rises, and you got to look east. So that's right before the sun rises. Again, Venus is between the Earth and the sun. That's actually, the term is inferior. They're inferior planets, Venus and Mercury. You'll never see them high in the sky, and you'll never see them overnight. They're always hanging around between sun.
They feel bad about that, right?
I don't know. Okay. Oh, missed the Great Conjunction. Oh no. Yeah. Was it cloudy? Oh yeah. It was. Oh, sorry. We had some really, really great skies here for the Great Conjunction. I'm so sorry, Larissa. Let's see. Where did I leave off? January 11th. Mercury, Jupiter.
Yeah. You talked about in conjunction.
Oh, yeah, that was the morning, right? So they've got January 11th, Mercury and Jupiter in conjunction. I guess Mercury and Jupiter and Saturn are going to kind of all move around each other. And so when they're in conjunction, that's, Mercury's closer to one or closer to the other. Again, low in the west, right after sunset. In fact, you can see some of the brighter planets when there's still some light in the sky.
Yeah, so it looks like first Mercury's having a fling with Saturn, then they have a three-way with Jupiter, and then Mercury settles on Jupiter.
Okay, he's a guy, right? All right, so let's see, where are we? January 13th, Jupiter and the moon is in conjunction. And this is weird because it was in the Farmer's Almanac, so I wanted to report it to you, but I thought it was weird because, January 13th is the new moon. You're not really going to see the moon, and very often a bright object like the moon or Jupiter or Mars can be a good signpost in the night sky to find the dim things. So I was a little bit wondering about that, but you know what? It's probably some scientific thing. So Jupiter and the moon are in conjunction on the 13th, but it is the new moon.
Yeah, well, with a new moon, it's still up there.
Yes.
And you can still see it. I mean, if the sky's clear, there's often enough earth shine on it that is picking up reflected light from the earth, so you can see a very dim, kind of brownish gray disc
sometimes.
There.
I think it depends on where the sun is hitting the earth and where that reflects back onto the moon. And that's the term, in case you haven't heard that term before, earth shine. I'll put it in here.
Yeah. So
that's what that means.
You can often see the moon. In fact, a lot of times when it's just a thin crescent or something like that, you can see the rest of the moon very dimly, and that's from the earth shine. That's
so cool, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so possibly you will see this new moon because it's reflecting light from that bounces, comes from the sun, bounces off the earth, and goes back and hits the moon, the side that's dark now because, the sun is on the other side of it. All right, so also January the 13th is the weekly Space Hangout, and this is an ongoing show. They run like fall through winter, through late spring into the beginning of summer, not the hot months like July and August. But the weekly Space Hangout is really cool. It's on Wednesday evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and they generally have a very well-known guest, and then they have a couple of other folks that like I'm going to be on, and I found out the 27th of January. I'm a junior journalist. I don't know what they call the other ones. But, people will talk about things. I usually like to share like this, things you can actually do yourself. And then we have some people that do reporting on, different like SpaceX and different findings in astronomy, that kind of thing. But I really like to share with you things you can actually do, like the weekly Space Hangout. It's going to be on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, January 14th, Mercury and the moon are in conjunction. The moon is going to be 1 day old. Again, low in the west, right away as the sun sets. You're going to want to look for this stuff so you can actually see it. January 15th brings us back to Friday, and we will be back here with our Friday night show. And if we do not have a guest, we will talk about the next thing involved with citizen science on our list. And if we do have a guest, we'll make sure you know all about that.
And speaking of guests, we have one guest on the schedule, Christina's friend, Sam Nordrum, on January 22nd. Is that right before or right after you've got your weekly space hangout?
Right before.
Right
That'll
before.
be right before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can talk about it there too.
Yeah.
And we have a few more pending and plenty of openings.
Absolutely.
So if you have something that you want to talk about, mostly, stuff that you've done, stuff that other people can do, come talk to people here.
Yeah, and I've been telling people that we have two objectives with our show, with our guest. First of all, we want to demonstrate to people what it is, the things that you can do involving space exploration, science, and astronomy. And our second objective is to have fun. Mm-hmm. So if you or someone you know has done something interesting with space exploration, science, astronomy, we would love to share our live. Tell you what, once again, 805-590-6356 is our number if you want to give us a call. We will be wrapping up pretty quickly, so do that fast. If you have any more questions, people, I know we've been seeing some comments in the chat here, and I'm really, really grateful to you. Thank you so much, Larissa and Michael and Christina. And that was, I don't see anybody else right now. We're so grateful, though. Thank you so much for being with us. And join us again next Friday for, like I said, the next Citizen Science Project or a guest if we happen to find somebody who would like to join us and share what they're doing with us. Alrighty, anything on your side?
Nope, you covered it. I was going to mention again that if we don't have a guest, we will talk about our citizen science. And I think we've already pretty much picked out one or two projects that we'll talk about next week. So that's cool. The next one's going to be yours.
I'm going to talk about the Soho comet hunting. And thanks so much, Michael. We really appreciate you coming in and joining us here. But I think it's really cool that you can look at pictures from the spacecraft, and they're available online, I think. I don't know. I'll know more next week. And compare them one after the other and go, hey, there's something moving here. And, try and discover a comet for yourself. You don't have to spend many hours in the night sky looking at it. Sometimes it's cold, variable. I mean, some of the most famous comet hunters put up with all kinds of weather, but they find comets that way too. But yeah, I think
so. Now you can couch potato it.
You can couch potato it, yeah. Thank you, Larissa. Really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, actually, this sort of thing's great for Larissa and Michael because your weather's really bad for viewing. So now you've got a portal on the night sky.
There you go. So if you want to look for comets, come back next week, and I'm going to figure out how you do it, and I will tell you about it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week.